In the spirit of the holidays, we want you to celebrate with your favorite WagerTalk or Sports Memo handicappers and do it at a discount by giving you a one-time 25% off everything you can fit into your cart between now and midnight on December 25th using coupon code GIFT25 when checking out. While this coupon can only be used once at WagerTalk and once at Sports Memo, the value is unlimited and there is no limit on what you can add to your cart when redeeming. Daily, all access, season, pick your team, and even mix and match handicappers as the combinations are endless. Remember, there is no limit to the number of handicappers at WagerTalk and Sports Memo you can lock in, but coupon code GIFT25 will expire at midnight on Christmas. On behalf of everyone at WagerTalk, Sports Memo, and Gold Sheet, we want to thank you for supporting us in 2022 by watching our videos, following us on social media, and trusting us with your wagers. However you celebrate, we wish everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Hey guys, welcome in and a very happy Tuesday to you here now, December the 20th, and 5 games in the association tonight. We're going to do our best here to break down a few of these, see if we can find some angles for you, a couple of best bets, and we're going to do it here on this Tuesday with the OG crew as we welcome back in Skee Profit in the house, as well as Tony, Finn, and Mr. Rob Vino here on the NBA Tip-Off Show. Happy Tuesday, gentlemen. Again, not the biggest of cards, but 5 intriguing matchups on the card here tonight, Skee. What might you have locked and loaded up at WagerTalk.com in these on this card?
I've only made 2 plays so far today, and it's probably just going to stay to 2 plays. Not a card that I love. Tomorrow, there are already some spots that I like, so we'll be firing away in probably bigger situations. But yeah, two spots up and available. Yesterday, I have to mention I did go backwards. I went 5-5 on the day, but I chose the wrong play to be a top play in the NBA. So try to get back on track today.
All right, we can do that for sure. It is a marathon, not a sprint, Tony, Finn, but I know you've been cooking something up here tonight. What do you got? What do you got locked and loaded, ready to roll?
I have a trilogy of NBA winners locked, loaded, packaged together. You can get all 3 for $29 only at WagerTalk. And it's been a pretty good month. Yesterday, like Skee mentioned, I kind of kissed my sister yesterday. So tonight's due to be better. Let's go.
All right, well, let's do it here. Your sister agrees. Talk to me, Rob Vino. What do you got going on? We just talked to you over on the college basketball show earlier, which, by the way, guys, some great information given out on that show with Vino, Dave Koch, and Brian Leonard. If you're interested in playing the college slate tonight, make sure you check out the college basketball tip-off show. What do you got going here tonight, Vino, in the association?
I do have an NBA 4% best bet up and available at WagerTalk.com from NBA action, a college hoop play as well, Joe, and the biggest play up and available right now is a college football bowl game, 5% blue chip release up right now. It's off in the distance, doesn't go today or tomorrow, but we're getting the best of the number here, I feel, so we got it out there early. So once again, college football bowl, 5% blue chip, tonight's NBA, 4% best bet, and 1 play from college hoop as well.
All right. Well, listen, let's start off the festivities here, guys, with a nice contrarian play of the day. As the contrarian gods have looked at this card, and they say, hey, don't sleep on this Chicago Bulls team. And, well, it looks like the market is agreeing because this has gone from 4.5, 5, now down to 3. Here in the marketplace. So the love is coming in for Chicago here tonight. I believe we did see this earlier this season in Miami. It didn't work out all that great for Miami, but I don't believe Zach LaVine played in that game. for the Bulls. So when you put it all together here, Skee, the Bulls trying to find some consistency, just haven't been able to do it here. Do you agree with the contrarian gods that don't sleep on the dog tonight?
No, I do not. And the reason, in my opinion, why the line is going down is because of the injury report for Miami. Because other than that, I mean, and Miami hasn't been playing great basketball this year, but they have a winning record and they've looked a whole hell of a lot better than this Chicago Bulls team. Just listen to them play. I mean, you could watch them. You could watch them play. You could listen to them in the interviews. It's not a whole lot to like. Goran Dragic, he's saying, these guys. They asking him what's wrong with the team, what they can do to be better. He's like, we're not playing for each other right now. Everybody's just doing stuff for themselves. We're not making extra passes. We haven't been able to trust each other on defense. That's not a team that I want in my pocket. So until they figure it out, and also it's been a little bit of bumping heads between DeRozan and Levine as far as on the court wise. Dragic was kind of mentioning that too, saying that, and he's talking about more than those two guys, maybe even Vucevic and others too, but just saying, like, it's easy to mention sacrifice until you're the one who have to sacrifice. So it's just too much going on that Chicago side for me to look towards backing them. I would only look towards backing the Miami Heat.
All right, you're going to look at the Miami Heat. 4-game winning streak for the Heat. 4-game losing streak, Tony Finn, for the Bulls. I'm looking right now. I mean, Jimmy Butler is the big question mark, but for the most part, Oladipo's going, Strus is going, Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, all probable here. So what do you think here about the Bulls, a chance to put it together and get back on track?
Well, the metrics, first off, the metrics with Jimmy Butler, without Jimmy Butler, right now, this current lineup, this current team, there's not a huge difference offensively. There's a little bit of a difference defensively, but not offensively. This is a Bulls team, 5-12 straight up in their last 17, with almost a -4.5 net rating. A defense atrocious. I mean, 116.1 per 100 possessions. 72% of the shots are at the rim. 38 from beyond the arc. If you're looking to back a team that's playing well, that's in good form, it certainly is not the Bulls. And there's a reason why the Heat, injured or not, are the favorites here in Chicago. You're on the Heat here, at least in my opinion, or you're not near this game.
All right, it's Heat or pass here for Tony Finn. Rob Dino, what are you thinking here, man? Chance that this Bulls lineup seems to be healthier than what Miami's is right now. Can they put it together here and get it done tonight?
Well, I'm going to say no, Joe, but, these contrarian gods and me, we don't get along whatsoever. I mean, last night I'm against them, and what do? They make sure Luka Doncic gets ejected, so I can't win a bet. So these contrarian gods, they got something going on here, but I don't want any part of the Chicago Bulls right now. We see this in a couple of isolated spots across the NBA. We've talked an awful lot about Charlotte and their desire to not play defense no matter what their coach says. And we see it from the Atlanta Hawks, their desire to not play defense on any night whatsoever. And the Bulls are right in line with all of this. Instead, the contrarian portion of the show is designated for side, Joe, and I will side with Miami. But more than that, Miami always gets shaded to the low side on totals. This one sits at 221.5. Miami, for what it's worth, in 5 of their last 6, has scored 110 or more in 5 of those 6. They're likely to get more than 110 here, no matter who's on the floor. Their injury report in Mexico the other day was full-length sheet of paper. So it's the same with them since last year. They're going to get guys on the floor that can shoot threes. Chicago won't defend threes. Miami will score. I just want to run down 5 of the last 6 Bulls games and what the total ended up being: 276, 248, 245, 259, 226. All well up and above 221.5. So aside from Miami, I think I would look over in this game.
So the numbers that are interesting with Miami, and this really dictates and has all year long, they take the 7th most percentage of shots from behind the arc, right? but they're also the 7th worst in making them percentage based upon how many they take. So they shoot 42% of their shots from 3, but they only make 34% of them. So it depends. Are they making threes or not? If they're making threes, they're going to win by 30. If they don't, this Miami team is so mind-blowing sometimes here because of just how much they rely on the deep ball. But the contrarian gods think it might be an off-shooting night for them tonight. They'll take the 3. These guys seem to think Miami going to put it together. So they'll be playing here tonight. 7:30 is the tip in that one. Interesting featured matchup here tonight as well between the Denver Nuggets going to be hosting the Memphis Grizz. Has John Morant been thrown out already? No? Okay. All right, good. So let me go to you, Tony Finn, with this game. It's -1 right now, 236.5. Certainly feels like I should just be taking the over and never look at the game again. What do you think here in this matchup? Are you leaning total side one way or the other?
Well, it's a pretty interesting game, and deservedly on our board of teams and matchups to discuss. I mean, you see the Denver Nugs open up. I think we're about field goal favorite, 3-point favorites. A lot of question marks, a lot of designations that have yet to be determined, at least to the point where last time I looked, and that's pretty important, guys, as far as Denver goes. I mean, in my opinion, you get two-headed. All you have is a two-headed monster.
Jokic is a go. So Jokic is probably he's the
right.
latest.
Murray,
he's good. Yeah, Murray's
still
still question mark. Yep.
Right, and without Murray, then you have to navigate this game. Maybe you're better off in game, Joe. But without Murray on the floor, this Denver team is 5 points less than when both Murray and the Joker are on. When Joker's off the floor, just forget it. You know, that may be the time that you can get some of your best inline games, the spots. You wait till he returns. Obviously, the dynamics of those in-game live odds and points move, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Listen, Memphis hasn't been anything special, have they? They're 6-8 straight up, 3-11 or 3-10-1 maybe against the spread away from home. Also another negative, basically for net. Their offense drops off on the road. However, this Denver team, I think 3 or 4 games back, Joe, scored 98 points. 98 points at the rim against Washington. They do need to be able to score at the rim when Jokic is in there and he's maybe taking the dribble driving and kicking out, et cetera, et cetera. They need to be able to score at the rim, and that's the one thing Memphis does fairly well. They do defend the rim well. I'm not in this room tonight, but the Nuggets are bad defensively. I mean, 116-3. Yeah, second worst defensive team in transition. Guess what Memphis likes to do? Like to run.
Yeah, and that's a problem. And I'm seeing it's I'm looking here at Denver. It looks like 1-7 against the number in the last 8, Vino. It's and that's a lot because they don't play any defense. They can't get any separation from teams. It's always it comes down to being a total dogfight in the end. But at home, a little bit better. What do you think we're going to get from them here tonight against Memphis?
Well, Memphis has had a couple of days worth of rest here, Joe, to come into altitude and just run. And as Tony mentioned, transition is going to be a problem here for Denver because Memphis is going to play up tempo the entire way. And if you don't get Jamal Murray in this game, you get Bones Highland. And if you get Bones Highland, you get even more up and down. And Bones Highland, not afraid to shoot, not afraid to score. So I don't know that Murray is a negative if you're playing total over in this game. If you're going to play over, you kind of like that situation. I think Memphis can probably name their score. There's in the NBA, there's always a bunch of situations where streaks start to happen, and you're closing in on the Christmas holiday here, and it just seems like defense is disappearing. The closer it gets to Christmas Day, the less defense being played each and every night, and maybe these guys are just ready to check out for a few days and just play some playground style basketball. Could be what we see here. I kind of anticipated. I think first half is a good way to go with the total, as well as full game. If you're looking at side, I think Memphis is a little more serious about winning right now than Denver is. You just pointed out the ATS record of the Nuggets in the last 8, 1-7. Memphis with this rest really has my interest in this game, Joe. So again, I'll give you two two plays on this game. Really like the total, but also lean towards the Memphis side here. If Murray goes, I don't even think it makes a difference. I wouldn't play Denver just because Jamal Murray's in the game. I would probably still play Memphis.
All right, so you're probably still looking at Memphis in that one. How about it, Skee? You got a lean total side, team total, anything along those lines in this matchup here?
Well, with everybody who's questionable for Denver and just really how both teams have been looking lately, I think I would have to lean towards the Grizzlies side. Looking at the last 2 weeks, you have Grizzlies 5-1 against the spread compared to the Nuggets 1-5. So just kind of going in different directions as far as that is concerned. And I mean, if you're going to, I think I saw Jokic likely, but still a few other guys on that lineup. And then just looking at both of these teams, I mean, it's only one team out here who's going to play some kind of defense, and that's the Grizzlies. Nuggets, it's just, they're a bottom 10 defensive rated team last 5 games compared to number 1. That's all I got to say. So I'll be looking towards the Grizzlies if I'm picking a side. In the total, I think I would disagree as far as expecting points. Now, it will be played up tempo. You have Memphis, the fastest playing team in the league last 5 games, and Denver is, top 5. Usually, Denver is a team that plays slow, is just efficient on offense, but they're actually speeding it up right now. The one thing I'll say is just looking at numbers on the season, looking at numbers last 2 weeks, they all get us under this 236.5. On the year, if you combine both of these teams, they average 229.1. If you want to look at the last 2 weeks, they combined to average 230.6. Denver is 8-4 to the under on the road. I think it's a little bit too many points. So lean towards the Grizzlies and lean towards the under.
All right, leaning towards a little bit towards the under in this matchup here, guys. Speaking of totals, let's take a look at an interesting one here tonight. It is, of course, our overtime segment, and we'll take a look here at the New York Knicks, who find themselves on a winning streak. What? Yep, that's right. On a winning streak here, taking on the Steph Curry lists Golden State Warriors. Now, as you can tell, the market here, this thing opened up at 225, but the market can't run to the under fast enough. 221.5 is what we are seeing here. And obviously, no Steph Curry, no Wiggins. But, as we saw the other night, that doesn't necessarily mean they can't score or won't score Golden State. I do know this, Vino. The Knicks have been winning games with defense. Didn't see that early on, but apparently Thibs' influence coming to fruition. So is this a situation where it's under or not? Or do you think there's any value created now by going up and over this 221.5?
You know what? That's a pretty good question, Joe. I would think that I would still kind of lean. You need 222 to win here. I would probably still lean toward the over in this game. And yes, Tom Thibodeau, we've talked about it a lot, right? There's guys that are not going to see the floor anymore this year. He's definitely taken that roster and found what he likes. And as I've mentioned a few times already, Evan Fournier, he's not going to see the floor anymore. Derrick Rose, barring massive injuries, of course, Derrick Rose, all these guys, they're not going to play anymore. He's got Quentin Grimes out there, and he's got Deuce McBride. And those are the guys in that swing position that he likes out there. And that the Knicks have taken off since then. Julius Randle's offense has picked up like crazy. Jalen Brunson and Mitchell Robinson back at center now for a few games steady. They're playing good defense. They're playing good offense as well. And Golden State, let's face it, Jordan Poole's going to go out there and hoist 43 the other night. Wouldn't think he makes that again, but Golden State's going to play at tempo. And I don't know that the Knicks will shy away from that. So I'd probably prefer, Joe, early in this game than full. I feel like this game might get a little bit out of hand with the Knicks winning this game. Golden State's been miserable on the road. Record's been documented a lot this year. But I think first half over with the Knicks is probably a way I'd rather look than full game over.
113.5 I am seeing here. First half points. Not a bad way to look there, Tony. Finn, do you have a feeling whether this thing is going up and over 221.5 or is it under for you?
Well, I like this game. I like the matchup, and I like the way it plays out, at least in my head, which many would say, "Oh, stay away from that," right? But the truth is this, and that is, what Rob just outlined. Perfect, almost. It's almost perfect. This team is set up to be able to score with Grimes being inserted, Brunson, if he has his way and he doesn't have to face, Gary Payton, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. RJ Barrett's the one really who has picked up his game. If you look at his numbers and you see his enthusiasm, he's playing with, the swagger of this New York team is so much different than it was in the first week or the second week of the season. Again, Julius Randle, as Rob mentioned, Robinson back, and I would worry about this team a little bit if they're playing 3 games in 4 nights or on the second leg of a back-to-back because of the basically the short bench and what Coach Tim Thibodeau's doing. So that said, here's the deal. Some regression's coming, guys. Some regression's coming, Joe, because during the 7-game stretch where they're 7-0 against the spread, they've held their opponents to under 30% shooting from beyond the arc, from distance, right? That's not, that's probably not, there's some regression just simply because even as bad as the Warriors can be with this lineup, they're going to fire away from downtown. We know that. Poole, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They're still firing away from downtown. And any percentage above that 32, 33 sends this game above above that 220 mark. Give me the over, okay?
He already likes the over 221 and a half. Skee, how are you leaning here? You thinking lower scoring game? You thinking we're going to get points in this one?
Well, there's no Teddy for me to punch, so I guess I'll stay away from Tony fans' orbit, and I'll also disagree with Rob here and
all
poke a
right,
little fun
all
at
right.
Rob. And Rob's never seen an over he didn't like, so we're gonna look the other way here. We're gonna go under, and the reason I'm liking that is because, you mentioned it off the rip, Joe. New York Knicks are playing some defense right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Number 3 defensive rated team the last 5 games, and even the Warriors, their defensive rating has been better than their offensive rating. Now the Knicks' favor here at the house. They're probably going to force Golden State to play at their pace. And the pace that they've been playing at the last 5 games is bottom 10. So I see a slower, more defensive game from the Knicks. And just looking at the way both of these teams kind of play, I don't see either one of them being able to take advantage of the other. Golden State, number 5, shooting a 3. Knicks, 5th, defending the 3. Knicks, 26, shooting a 3. And Golden State, 12th, defending it. So I don't see a lot of extra points here. Golden State also has a game the next day. I think the Knicks might even, they may have a game the next day. But really, we focus on those road teams on the front end of a back-to-back. So far this season, they're 67% to the under. And you see some guys already rolled out from the Golden State side. I wouldn't be surprised, towards the end of the game to see them saving some minutes. So for me, I played this one. I bet under 222 and a half.
All right, there you go. That's where it's looking. A little less points in this one here for Skee. So good stuff there, guys. We do have 5 total games, and now we'll let the dogs bark a little bit here, Robert.
That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. And anybody got to say anything, you let me know. That's my dog.
All right, load them up. Let's see what we got in addition to Golden State and Chicago. Memphis there, slight dog. Washington, part of the other game that's on tap tonight against the Phoenix Suns. And also the Detroit Pistons at home taking on the Utah Jazz. So, Skee, 5 to choose from here. Is there a dog that might be barking for you here tonight?
Well, first off, I'm just really happy we can see these things clear this year on the show, on the screen, as far as the odds and everything is concerned. And I also have to just say, I didn't bet this one, but if I have to pick a dog for the day, it has to be Detroit. I just think that line is, like, when do you ever see Detroit as, this short of an underdog? I kind of just feel like it's telling. They're at the house. I don't like a whole lot of the other dogs. So Detroit, I got to pick one.
Yeah, it kind of feels like that's where they're pushing us to for sure there. Detroit, Utah just played, it feels like, 8 hours ago. Tony Finn, what do you think here? Where are you looking on this list of dogs tonight?
I'm going to do something that's different, that's unusual, that's contra. I'm going to agree with Skee. It is Detroit. Yeah, I agree with Skee in this game. I think the Jazz. I caught a nice win with some alternate lines going against the Jazz their last start, and they're starting to play to their defensive skill set, which isn't very good. This team does a great job of crashing the boards, getting second chance points, off offensive rebounds, and getting open looks outside the line. They're just not much in the paint. This is the issue. Detroit does a really good job of making you move the ball, making you work really hard for those open looks outside the arc, and they don't give up a ton of offense. They don't give up second chance points. I like Detroit here getting points against the Jazz. In fact, I think you just skip the points and take the money line. Take the money line on Detroit.
Yep, there it is. That's the dog that's barking here tonight so far. Vino, you making it a clean sweep? You know, if you do, we're going to have to run out and bet Utah. So tell us what you're looking at here, my man.
Yeah. Well, then I won't make it a clean sweep. Then. No problem. You're always, urging me to take the least amount of points available. So I'll take the least amount of points available. That would be Memphis. Even if Denver's healthy, I think Memphis is playing far better than what Denver is. Memphis has an interior edge in this game, despite the fact that the other team has the two-time defending MVP on their side. Memphis has a ton of height, a ton of interior presence that can combat that and score on the offensive end. So I just think Memphis rested, as I said earlier, and with the fact that they're going to go up tempo against a defense that's just, eroded in the last 7 to 8 games. I'm going to take Memphis plus the point. You probably want money line there because what's the sense in taking 1 point? So Memphis money line, probably the way to go.
Believe it. Bradley Beal back active finally, and you don't even look at Washington getting that touchdown here tonight. All right, let's see. Maybe, just maybe, the Wizards will get a best bet here tonight. Let's see what we got, Robert. All right, you guys know how it works. 60 seconds on the clock. Don't care what you do with that 60 seconds. Just give us a best bet somewhere in there. So, Skee, kick us off here, man. 60 seconds. Where are you looking at here tonight?
Well, before I start my best bet, I want to mention, just because, I'm not the big NFL guy, but I'm a little hot right now. I won 14 of my last 19, so hopefully I can keep that going. And I'll mention it while I can.
Yep.
But for today's best bet segment, I'll go Chicago and Miami. And we got to look at the total, man. We're going to go under. The way I'm initially looking at this is, you have a Chicago team that's lost 4 games in a row. I talked about a whole lot of reasons why you can't trust them. Miami, they've won 4 games in a row. They're pretty, in my mind, desperate and hungry to continue winning because they're only 1 game above 500. And they lost to this team the last time they played. How are they going to win the games? They're not doing it with the offense. They're top 5 defensive rated team within that span, and Chicago Bulls are the worst offensive rated team. So I think they play this one at Miami's pace, which is bottom 5 the last 5 games. I think they ramp up that defense, and that's how they're going to get a win. Chicago, another one of those road teams who has a game the following day. So we'll play it under. I bet under 223.5, but I still would take it at the current number.
No argument there. Miami Heat taking on the Bulls. Skee is looking at the under and 14 of 19, guys. Did you hear that? 14 of 19 in the NFL, man. He's crushing it. Make sure you visit him over there at WagerTalk.com. Meanwhile, Tony Finn, you know how to count to 60. Go ahead. Give us a best bet here, man.
Go. Let's go. Let's go to the Madison Square Garden. So we're going to go to a game that I like and already talked about, playing to the north side of the odds makers over under on total. We're going to go with the Tom T's New York Knicks. He's made the necessary adjustments to the rotations. It's significantly increased the production of guys, players like AJ Burnett, et cetera, et cetera. 82 game schedule, guys. You think the Knicks are one thing, they change into another thing, they morph back into the team they were before, back and forth over 6 months. That happens. It's covered 7 straight. Here's the deal. There's some regression, and as I mentioned, they've left almost 30% of the three-point shots from opponents wide open. Some of those are going to hit, but I still like New York laying the small number tonight at MSG against a team that's done, completely and utterly finished. Give me New York minus the number.
Ooh, look at that. With time to spare, that is some confidence. Love it. Knicks getting it done here tonight for Tony Finn. And don't forget, 3-pack, guys, $29 over on Tony's page. Make sure you visit him there. What's going on, Vino? You've gotten to hear everyone else's. So go ahead and destroy one of them. Go ahead. 60 seconds. Where you going, Vino?
I won't destroy anything, but I'll feed right into Skee's assessment of me that I never met an over I didn't like, and I'll play an over. Memphis team total over 117.5 tonight against Denver. Denver's given up 118 or more in 5 of their last 8. We really pretty much documented how miserable they've been on defense. And if they are minus, especially if they're minus Caldwell Pope tonight, I can honestly see Memphis running them right off the floor here and getting better than 117.5. Seems like a low number to me, Joe. But again, the Memphis rest is a real factor here. The Memphis interior size is a real factor here. The Memphis transition speed is a real factor here. So I'm going to go ahead and probably, only use 50 seconds here telling you to play Memphis team total over 117.5.
Boom, there it is. All right, we got some confident plays here, guys, in a 5-game card here tonight. And to recap it one more time, let's take a look as Skee likes them Detroit Pistons tonight at home, +2.5 against Utah. In the meantime, the under for him tonight in Miami with the Bulls, 221.5. Tony Finn, he likes Detroit as well. He also likes the Knicks to handle business. He's going to lay it there, the 5.5 with the New York Knicks here tonight. While Vino, he's going to go Memphis. He thinks Memphis is the way to go for as a slight dog here tonight. But again, keeping with the idea that he's never met an over he didn't like. He's going to take it over tonight, that being the Memphis team total. 117.5. The contrarian gods are saying, look out if those threes don't start raining from Miami. Chicago +3, and I am seeing 2.5 pop up. So either Jimmy Butler is not playing, or if you like Miami and think he's playing, you're going to get him at a much better number right now, guys. I'm telling you. But that's where we're at here. And if you head over to WagerTalk.com, you can go ahead and hop on board. Skee told you about what an unbelievable NFL streak going on. And Skee, I'm going to imagine you got anything locked and loaded. Is it Thursday night up or anything for the weekend?
So I have a play that I'm eyeing for Thursday Night Football that I'm going to put up tonight. And I also have a really big play for NBA that I'm eyeing for tomorrow. So big day coming up. Big days coming up.
There you go, guys. Head over to his page at WagerTalk.com. Tony Finn's got that 3-pack of games, best bets tonight. Go get them. $29. And Vino, you got a bowl game, guys. His biggest bet here on the card. Go get it. Bowl game action here from Rob Vino tonight, available at his page at WagerTalk.com. All right, that'll do it here. We'll be back again tomorrow. Monster slate of games. You heard Skee is already eyeing some stuff over there. I would encourage you, if the college basketball slate interests you at all, great stuff from Rob Vino and the gang there on the college basketball tip-off show. Make sure you check that out. Up available now, whether it be the WagerTalk TV app or on YouTube, guys. Make sure you check it out. Some great stuff there on the slate of games here tonight. And the good news is we get to come back and do it all over again tomorrow. So hit that like button, subscribe button, download the brand new WagerTalk TV app, and make plans to come back and join us again tomorrow. Just 10, 11 days left now before we say goodbye to 2022. My God. 2023 just around the corner. Until then, guys, best of luck with all your plays. We'll talk to you again soon. Good luck.
Tuesdays is known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers' best bet or daily package for only $2.